Welcome to the podcast, everyone. We're back. I'm here with Wendy Gayle. Happy New Year. And boy, it's a
Hap-
doozy.
Yes. Welcome to the rest of your life, right?
Oh my goodness. Oh,
Wow.
I know it's been a while. Our last segment, we brought in a guest.
Mm.
And so it's been a while since it's just been you and I. And I'm excited. I've got a whole list of questions, but catch us up on what's going on in Wendy's world.
Oh my gosh. Well, the holidays were really a mixed bag. I had a fabulous time with my family. I have a crazy, wonderful family, and when we get together, we're just goofy as all get out. So that's always fun. Always fun. Um, I had a friend visiting from Colorado. It was the first holiday season without her husband who passed. And so
Mm,
that was bittersweet.
mhm.
And then I thought I was taking time off, and it felt
Mhm.
like I didn't
Lo and
really
behold.
take time off. Lo and behold, right? There were so
Yes.
many people in need.
Hmm.
And so, you know, I rested when I could, played when I could, and helped when I could. And all in all, it was really great way to end up the year, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How about
Yes.
you? How about you?
Um, well, it was really nice to have a grandchild celebrating Christmas. So it sort of has shifted. It's all about her now, and everything is pink and everything is pink, and it was really fun to shop for toys again, and
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
go and take her to go see Santa, and
Oh,
um so it was really sweet, really sweet. But
oh,
yeah,
that's beautiful.
holidays are not, I raised four sons, so I mean, Christmas was chaos at my house. I mean, they would walk in, and I remember we would have sections, to have some sort of control of what was going on. But um, yeah, it's really bittersweet to have those, those memories, and then seeing how my life has changed
Mhm.
as they're now grown and gone, and now
Yeah.
I have to. It's like, can I see you for Christmas? So Christmas Eve was at my house. But Christmas Day was sort of lazy. I just stayed home
Yeah.
and watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really rolled into the Christmas movies this year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I
loved it.
I think I only caught one or two this year. I
Yeah.
normally am a Hallmark Channel addict during the holidays, but I didn't this year. I was
Yeah.
busy with other things, so
Yes.
glad that you got to partake.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's good to be here. And
yeah.
so let's how's Metatron? How's he doing? I'm excited to talk to
Oh,
him.
he's feisty as ever. Yeah, he's been really close. And interestingly enough, Mother Maya's been very close as well.
Mm,
It used to be I could feel just Metatron in the space, which
mm.
have been normal for years. Mother Maya, when she appeared this summer, she would kind of like come and go when I was channeling her. Now it's like she's always there. Metatron sits right here at my left,
Yeah.
and Mother Maya is like on the right, but like about arm's length in front of me, off to the side a little bit, and she's
Interesting.
always there now. So
Mhm.
it'll be fun to see what happens as the year moves forward, how that blending or whatever shifting is gonna
Mm.
take place. So
Yes.
it's all good.
Yes, and I know that you have video of on your YouTube channel channeling Mother Maya. Can you tell the followers who is she?
Oh my gosh. And that's really a great question, because I was in meditation one day and all of a sudden I felt like I was being pushed or whooshed across the universe. I felt like I was moving, and I was dropped in front of a huge shrine, huge, massive.
Mm.
I was about, this big in
Oh,
front of this shrine, and the shrine was made out of alabaster, and it had in relief, all of these beautiful sacred symbols. And there was, what I was told at the time, an image of Mother Maya. And it wasn't like a human image. It was like she was made up of all of these different parts of animals and birds and things like that.
Wow.
And you think it would be strange, but it was beautiful. And she said, "I am the mother of mothers."
Mm.
She says that she predates Magdalene. She predates a lot of the mothers that we are very connected to at this time.
Mhm.
She talks about giving birth to a lot of the divine feminine that we're connected to these days. And so she's intense, and she's not very fun. She's
Oh,
kind of boom, boom, boom. She's here to do the work. And her first
wow.
channeling was that she's here to defend those who can't defend themselves, protect those that
Mm.
need protecting, and shine light in dark places.
Mm.
And so the first dark place that she's tackling is human trafficking.
Okay.
And you can see what's happened with human trafficking since the summer. All of a sudden, boom, it's really been
Oh,
in
yes.
the news.
It's in the light.
And the light's shining on it. And all of a sudden, I noticed this week that there's a new Jason Statham movie coming out that's about
Mhm.
human trafficking and him, fighting human trafficking. I'm just like,
Yes.
wow. And so she's getting the light shining in
Mm.
different ways. And so she's been having me collect crystal skulls. She's going to be working with crystal skulls to help things heal, to help things shift, to help things change. But, I'm someone who never in my life, I could have cared less about crystal skulls, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, why not? Why the skull? Why that shape and why that object versus a crystal?
Right. Well, there's several reasons. And she talks about these skulls as skulls that she's bringing home, that she's worked
Mm.
either with the crystal that the skull is made out of, or the skull itself. And so
Mm.
the configuration of the skull is sacred in many different belief systems, and represents power, and those types of things. Very shamanic. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, and I actually took a crystal skull class. Diane Rem set it up,
Oh, she
and it
did?
was, yeah, because of me, she's now like, she's cursing me because all of a sudden she's like,
Oh,
give me the skulls, right? But
wow.
there's an energy to them. And I'll tell you what, I've been collecting them. Some of them are small, and some of them are almost as big as my own head.
Wow.
And they are just these power generators. They've shifted the consciousness, the energy frequency in my home in a way that I never anticipated. And
Wow.
me, I've got lots of crystals.
Sure, sure.
I'm a crystal
Me
girl,
too.
right? But the skulls are just incredible. And she has a personal relationship with each one. I can't just go and say, "Ooh, there's a pretty one. That's what I want." She'll go, "No, that's not. Nope,
That's not the one.
that's not the one." And she'll bring them to me in different ways. eBay loves me
Interesting.
these days.
I bet they do. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
great.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning because I really
Hmm.
knew nothing about crystal skulls. So
Sure, sure. Me neither.
kind of cool.
That's very
Yeah,
interesting. Thank you.
yeah, yeah.
All
So
right. So you ready to bring them in?
I am ready to bring him in. I'm going to ask people to pardon me because it's been really dry here, and so I've got a little bit of tickle in my
It's
throat.
okay.
Gonna have my trusty water. So
Mm-hmm.
enjoy.
Thank you.
I know you guys have some serious things to talk about today. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Those of you listening, we're just going to pause as she brings Metatron in.
All right. Mm. Good day to you, beloved one. Mm.
Good day, Metatron. Thank you for joining us today.
Indeed. It is always our honor and pleasure to be with you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a little heavy energy over here where I'm
Yeah.
at.
Little heavy energy all over the place,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So what are you doing about the heavy energy?
I cried. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cried a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And we would like to remind everyone that, you know, uh, at this time of this recording, yes, there are the raging fires in Southern California. One of many challenging things happening on the planet, but the focus right now is on Southern California. And
Yeah.
we will say that even if you don't live in Southern California, you are still impacted by what is occurring because it has taken that trauma into the collective consciousness, right?
Yes.
It's the trauma not only from people losing homes and loved ones, but it's the trauma of the firefighters and the supportive, uh, you know, organizations that are helping, right? It is the animals. There's just going to be deep, deep trauma from
Mm-hmm.
this experience that's going to last for a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm. I
So,
feel that.
so yeah. So
Yeah.
everybody feels that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. So let's start with the questions around the wildfires is
Mhm.
um because there were several different fires that started and some of them
Yeah.
I know were at the hands of someone. But what
Yes.
was the true cause of the wildfires that started in the Pacific Palisades first?
Right.
Was it a
Right.
natural occurrence? Was there human
Yes. Yeah.
activity
Yeah.
involved?
Yeah. It was natural occurrence.
Mhm.
At least the original
The
fire,
original.
not natural, right? And then there were those that would uh go to the outskirts of the fire and start smaller fires that some of them caught, some of them didn't. And
Hmm.
so, some of the fires were instigated by, disturbed individuals. But
Yeah.
the fire within what you call the Palisades was natural occurrence. Yeah.
Yes, yes. The winds were unlike anything. I'm about 30 miles from there,
Yes.
but when the Santa Ana winds come in, we are all affected. And I have not seen anything
Yeah.
this serious for years and years. So that combined with the fires, it's just
Yeah.
was
Well,
terrible.
and you have to know that the conditions that create the fires also create the winds.
Mm-hmm.
right? They're kind of synonymous in some ways. The winds, however, really, really this year are worse than any year prior to this. There are people
Yeah,
that have lived within your state that say this is something that has never been seen before,
never.
almost hurricane level wind.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah. So, I guess part of my question is why there?
Mhm.
Why there? What is there a reason that area was chosen? Is there a role that the collective consciousness of that area, did they manifest something? I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how to ask it.
So we want to be very, very careful about how we answer these questions because think about all that have been impacted by this fire, right? Or
Hmm.
these fires. And it is difficult to say to someone who's lost everything and don't know if they'll ever be able to dig out of this,
Mm-mm.
right? It's difficult to say to them, well, you signed up for this, or you made a soul agreement, or all is in divine order. How is that helpful? It is not. And so we'll speak to things in a different way today. All right.
Hmm.
So this is a deep tragedy. It's a deep tragedy. And all of those that have been impacted need you, right? Need all the light workers, need all the helpers on this planet, need the support of the collective so that they can begin to heal the trauma, right?
Hmm.
The work that you do is important to what has happened to and with these individuals. How do you come together as light workers to support and heal something so great? So many people impacted.
Hmm.
And there's a number of ways to do that. We encourage everyone, even if you think that you have nothing to do with this. Oh, that's happening in Southern California and I am Chicago, right? You are still part of this because there is no separation. How would you like to be held? How would you like to be supported? And think about it that way. Can you contribute to help, financially? Can you pray? Can you offer your services for free to those impacted by the fire, right? For all of you who are wondering, what is my path? What is my path? I've studied this, and this, but what's my path? This is your moment. This is your time to step up and say, okay, I can offer Reiki. Okay, I can offer
Hmm.
sound healing. Okay, I can offer counseling. Okay, I can offer energy medicine, whatever it is.
Hmm.
Please step up and give of yourself, give of your gifts. Yeah, give of your gifts so that you will be part of the healing, part of the solution of this deep scar, because it will leave a scar, not only on the land, but in so many lives. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
There
Hmm.
are many that have been impacted and they've lost everything. They will never
No.
be able to come back to where they were before this
Hmm.
experience. Right?
Hmm.
Some are wondering how they're ever going to put a roof over their family's head or food on the table. That is how dire this is.
Yes.
Now,
Mhm.
there's been a lot of focus on many of the wealthy that lived in the Palisades, right?
Mhm.
But there are thousands upon thousands of regular people,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Regular people that are not, multi-millionaires or billionaires.
Mhm.
Please have compassion for all and remember that, when you're looking at one of these entertainment people, let's just go with entertainment, people in the entertainment industry.
Mhm.
There is the assumption that, well, their house burned down. Oh, no problem. They'll just be able to build it again, right? What are they complaining about? They've got the money to come back and build it again. You
Mm.
watch your thoughts, watch your attitudes,
Mhm. Yeah,
because it's a trauma for everyone, no matter how much money they have in their bank or don't
that's right.
have in the bank, right?
Mhm.
So, our question is, what will you do? And this question is to the collective. What will you do?
Mhm.
How will you get up off of your sofa and be of service?
Yes.
Find a way. Find a way. Because you are them.
Mhm.
It could have just as easily been anyone who's listening to this recording that this happened to.
Mhm.
So have compassion not only for your greatest fears, because that is one of the things, right? Losing everything, having nothing is one of the greatest fears of most humans.
Mhm.
Think about that. Think about when you think, loved one, about losing everything, standing only in the clothes on your back with nothing.
Mhm. Well, that did happen to me.
Mm,
And in 2016, so that's why, this it's almost like it paralyzes me,
yeah.
right? In 2016, it was a Thanksgiving weekend. And um, at 3 o'clock in the morning, it was really I think, angel, someone woke me up because my smoke detector did not wake me. Um, it was because the fire was in a place where it was in my attic. And I don't even know why I woke up at 3 in the morning, but I did. Someone woke
Yes.
me, and I started hearing something. Had I been asleep, it wouldn't have.
Right.
But I became curious, and as I got up and went to approach my restroom, when I turned the light on, it didn't go on. And when I was standing in that very spot, I could smell smoke.
Right.
And I just kind of stood there in the middle of the night
Mm,
in denial, like this is not
yeah.
happening. I could
Right.
actually hear the crackling of the wood burning above me. And so, um, we got out safely. I had at the time 3 dogs. At the time, my elderly mom was staying with me, and but I got out, and um, yeah, there was a fire, and
Yeah.
I've often wondered. Well, I was displaced for a year. I had to leave.
Yeah.
I lived in a hotel for 9 weeks until they found a replacement home, and I was just sort of numb that year, that whole year, numb, kind of going through the motions. Um, and it was awful. I felt like outside of myself, like this is not my life. I'm living in a home, nothing is mine. Imagine living in a home. It's like you're in an Airbnb. The dishes the beds, the TV, nothing is yours, nothing. And so, yeah, it's,
Yes.
I was, luckily able to rebuild um, and have all the things that I wanted for my home. I've often wondered
Mm.
why did I experience
Mhm.
that fire? I know there's a meaning behind it. What
Right,
was it
right.
for me?
And that is something for you to explore, because listen, I can't tell you what it was for you, right? Because you're the
Mm.
one that experienced it, but we will say that you've kind of in some way glossed over it in your life, that there's still trauma that
Oh yeah.
exists,
Oh yeah.
right? And so finding the lesson and finding the blessing is important to healing that, as it will be for all the multiple thousands in Southern California. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that is, the why question seems to be on everybody's mind. Why? Well,
Yeah.
you know, it is not meant as punitive, right? The fire is indiscriminate, but Metatron and Mother Maya have been speaking of earth changes and how things sometimes have to be changed before they can be rebuilt or reestablished at a higher vibrational frequency or higher consciousness, right? So if you
Mhm.
apply that to what has been happening now, right, that possibility of of recreation is there, but people are not ready to hear that yet.
Mhm.
People are too traumatized for us
Yes.
to say everything, no matter what it looks like, is in divine order. That does not land when you're in trauma. That just uh kind of instigates more trauma within.
Mhm.
So, everyone, please be aware of how you're speaking to the people that have experienced this, and how
Mhm.
you're judging them, and how it's impacting you. It's
Yes.
it's important. What's your lesson in your fire is going to be different than the lesson that somebody else has experienced in the fire and that they're going through now. But
Mhm.
you're also going to have an experience with those people that lost their homes,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Mhm.
And so what is it for you? Finding out what the lesson and blessing with your own home fire, and what's the lesson and blessing for you with this larger fire is important, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
This fire has burned hotter than most fires burn.
Wow.
Part of it is the wind, part of it is, the fact that there's very little moisture in the air right now
Mhm. Yeah,
where you are. And so it has been challenging.
it has.
Mhm.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Metatron.
indeed.
Appreciate it. Well, let's change the channel, shall we?
Okay, we'd be happy to change the channel.
Yes. So prior to that, we were having a lot of activity in the sky. Okay. A lot of activity. And so I kind of want to talk about, yeah, the spotting. Everybody around the globe are seeing
Mhm.
um, spaceships,
Yeah.
UAPs, and yeah, that maybe. Well, I kind of also want to talk about the reverse engineering that the government has done, where they're creating ships. I mean, I don't know, so what's real, what's not?
Right. And that's the whole reason for that, to keep the confusion, to keep the feeling that the galactics and their ships are nothing but conspiracy theories.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. And do you remember when our woman talked about going to Sedona at the end
Yes.
of October and getting to wear military grade night vision goggles and look into the sky and see thousands of ships,
Thousands. It's incredible.
thousands of
Yes.
ships, right? And in this much sky. And so they are there. They have been active upon your planet, but they're not only active on your planet, they're active everywhere, right?
Yes, yes.
They have found the way to move through time and space that humans have not yet
Yeah.
mastered, right? And so there's those that are very close right now, and their goal is to assist humanity survive, to help you evolve,
Mhm.
because remembering that there's no separation, what happens here on your planet impacts the whole cosmos.
Mhm. Mhm.
What happens here on
Yes.
your planet impacts the entirety of the cosmos.
Can you
Now,
explain how?
right, well, it is like, dropping a pebble in the pond. The ripples just keep going, 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 going. So
Right.
the energetic ripples, if planet Earth were to disintegrate tomorrow, there would be a for lack of a better understanding, a void that would impact what you would call the whole of the grid. Everything
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
connected. So, you have your light body, your divine blueprint, as does the universe. And so
Mhm.
anything that is destroyed, that is holding a position, right, impacts the whole, impacts the
Yes.
whole, right?
Mhm.
So it is coming. This year, there's going to be more and more uh, plausible information coming forward, right? The stories, the theories are going to kind of get set aside, and there's going to be some real talk, some real connection about the importance of our galactic brethren, right? And there's
Mhm.
many channels upon the planet right now that are working with different galactic beings in a way to try to get the information out, that it's safe, that it
Yeah.
is a co-creation. It's, not a takeover. So,
Right. Right. Yes.
yeah,
Why? I know they've always been there, always watching, always
yeah,
protecting, but
right.
why the increase in the sightings?
Because you're on the precipice.
Okay. I like that.
You're on the precipice to either evolve or to be, imploding, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about the energy upon your planet at this time.
Mm-hmm.
There are those that are so dead set against any change, any growth upon the planet. And yet,
Yes.
change and growth are what is needed, right? The
Mm-hmm.
new needs to be able to be birthed so that as a species, as a collective, you can evolve,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? So you need the space, you need the freedom for that. And there are those in high places that would prefer that you didn't have the information, the access, the understanding, all
Sure.
of those things. Right? So they
Wow.
try to kind of, keep the truth out
Hmm.
of the hands of the collective, so to speak.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. So, a from a previous segment that we had talked about other realities that we have, and someone had a question um, about does that happen to everyone here? Does everyone here on Earth experience themselves on other realities
Okay.
of
So,
themselves? Like,
right. So the word experience themselves, you have to be aware, you have to be awake to be able to experience yourself as multidimensional. However, everyone is multidimensional,
mhm,
but just are not aware. They would not
mhm,
even know how to uh, connect with any of
mhm,
their other aspects, right? So,
mhm,
so it's not exclusive, right? Everyone has the experiences, but those that are aware, those that are waking up, have the experience of connecting with those aspects of themselves. Does that
mhm.
make sense to you?
It does to me. I just,
Mhm.
yeah, I did a fun a meditation that I was able to jump timelines and see
Yeah,
myself
right, right.
completely in a different life, married to
Mhm.
someone I don't know. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah,
I posted about it and I shared it on social media. And so yeah, that it's interesting that you
yeah,
can do
yeah,
that. You can
yes, yeah. You
look behind
can.
the curtain.
Yeah, and exactly, right? Look, transcending the veil, so to speak. Uh, the the key is that you have to want to. You have to be
Mhm.
aware that it's possible, right? And
Yes.
then you can have the experience.
Hmm.
It's there. Everyone is living that, but most upon the planet don't have an understanding of that,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So
Yes.
yeah. So as you're waking up, and all of you can learn from Myra's experience, and go visit yourself in other timelines and dimensions, right?
Yeah. Yes, yes. Okay, wonderful.
Yes, indeed.
Um, so we have a listener question here. If there are immortals living among us,
Immortals.
that's the word they used.
Well, you are immortal. Your physical frame may not be immortal, but you are immortal.
Hmm.
Your soul is immortal. There's no destruction of a soul,
True,
right?
true.
So if you're looking for an immortal in human form, no. If you're
Okay.
looking for immortality of the soul, then yes, right?
Hmm.
And there are souls that are fully awake, and they remember each of the bodies that they've held, and they're here again in another physical form,
Mm.
which will eventually, you know, be, no longer useful, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Right? It's like sometimes you've just got to buy a new car, right? Got to have a new ride because, the old
Yes.
one just kind of poops out. And so it's kind of the same with the physical body, right? But the
Yeah.
soul's immortal. And there are those beings that remember their immortality and live within that parameter, even if they are in physical form.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes,
Um,
indeed.
in many of my sessions, many, and I just love it. I have discovered that the interdimensional extraterrestrial beings have the technology to disguise themselves. And
Mhm.
they come here to Earth to do, certain missions to help. It's so far everything I've discovered in sessions is they're here to help, but they
Yeah.
have the technology to completely change their physicality to
Mhm.
pass as a human.
Yes.
Can you tell me, are they around us now?
Well, of course they are. So the angelics have been doing this as well since
Mm,
time began upon, this planet. Yes, they have the ability to shift their appearances, right?
yes.
But shifting the appearance is only part of it, because everything and everyone has a vibrational frequency. And so many times you can notice another individual, right, that has a different type of energy vibration, right? The galactics have a certain vibration, and we cannot describe that to you because it kind of has to be felt. Speaking
Same.
about it is not helpful. The the galactics have a vibration. The angelic beings have a beautiful, pure, almost like ringing a bell vibration. And so you can notice them through how they feel, not necessarily how they look. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Because something can change its face, but they haven't learned how to change their vibration yet.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Here's a question that I've been wanting to ask you. In one of my teachers, Dolores Cannon, she had written several books, and one of the topics that comes up is called an NPC, a non-player character. In her books, I don't remember if it was her claiming or a client that was in a trance, but that there are people, let's say I'm on a busy freeway, okay, and it is packed with traffic. Around me are non-player characters that, okay, I think they're saying they don't really have a soul. They're playing a part of, I'm telling you, it's in the book. They're playing a part as a body, just a body
Right.
in the illusion of what we have created. I find that really hard to wrap my head around, that there are people walking around without a soul, but they are just a body kind of going through the motions. So is this accurate?
We do not agree with this assessment,
Hmm.
right? We are with the understanding that the soul is what animates the body, right?
Hmm.
It is not an empty shell that is animating itself. The soul is animating the physical body. So,
Yes.
you know, is it possible that somebody is trying to create a physical body without a soul? Well, that sounds a whole lot like AI, but AI is not, yeah. Yeah, they're
Okay.
not, yeah, right. We're not going to go there with,
Yeah.
but no, we would say that there, everything is an illusion. This whole world, your whole life, everything is an illusion, right? You are source, but you are source having this experience. And everyone that you are engaging with or not engaging with on the freeway, right? What is it, the 405 freeway in particular, right? Our woman has talked about that before.
Yes.
Right? But every single one of those souls is having a different experience of that freeway,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
Every single soul at the football game in the stadium, right? All those souls, right? Everyone is having a different experience. Doesn't matter how many are wearing the same outfits or eating the same snacks. Every single soul's having a different experience, and that's really what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the understanding that it's all an illusion,
Mm-hmm.
you're still an active part of the illusion, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
And everything that you do, you take back, quote unquote, back into source.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank
Okay?
you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So
We
there's a
we mean no disrespect to
no,
anyone.
no,
And
I
there are
I don't
people
either,
that
but
will, yeah, there
mhm.
are people that will continue to believe that there are those walking around with no soul. You know,
Yes,
there's many on this planet who act like they have no soul, but the
true.
truth of the matter is that they do,
They
right?
do. Yes. No, thank you. Yeah,
Mhm.
sometimes you read things and of course, use discernment. Don't believe everything
Absolutely.
that you hear.
And
Hmm.
it, just because someone has had an experience or a, a dream or a remembrance, right?
Hmm.
Does it does it mean that it's real for everybody? Right?
Right.
Or
Thank
was it just for that individual and their soul?
you.
So
Hmm.
great to remember. Great to remember. Yeah.
Thank you.
Indeed.
So someone's asking, what are mirrors capable of?
Mirrors.
Mirrors. So that's all the question. That's it. But I do know that there's a way to gaze, do
Right,
mirror gazing. What
right,
is it
right.
about mirrors that allow us to gaze into possibly into other
Okay.
realms or actually see impressions in the mirror that wouldn't normally?
Right, right.
I think that's what
It's
they're asking.
okay, all right. Yes, we understand. So
Mhm.
when you're gazing into your own eyes in the mirror, right, it is as if you're having a soul to soul communication, like soul, and you're communicating with your own soul through the eyes, right? And when you gaze long enough, that which is the illusion begins to shift and change around you, so that all of a sudden the physical features may morph. All of a sudden the room may change and you see
Mhm.
something different, right? And so the gazing of the soul allows you to let go of the construct,
Okay.
right? Because every day you live within a construct. You've constructed your life, you've
Yes.
constructed your reality. When you gaze into your own eyes, into your own soul, it creates a possibility that you can see, feel, know outside of your current construct.
Okay.
Is that
Yeah.
helpful?
Yeah,
And
it
we
is.
we encourage everyone to soul gaze, right?
Uh-huh.
And and you can even do it with another individual that you feel safe with, is to just sit and gaze into each other's eyes and
Wow.
watch what happens. The construct begins to change,
Wow.
right? Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. I advise people to, look up what is like mirror gazing, soul gazing.
Right. Yeah.
Because there's,
Yeah.
I think, a lot of information there.
Right. Well,
Wow.
and it's a beautiful tool that can be used for spiritual awakening as well,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? And you can also use what is like a candle flame to gaze into, that will also
Ah,
give you a similar experience. Right?
okay. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
indeed.
So, Metatron, someone wants to know how religion began. How did, how did we begin the practice of prayer? Where does that come from?
Little when um, when you were in your first incarnations, your first origins upon this planet, right?
Hmm.
Because it's different everywhere,
Sure.
right? On Venus, there's no religion, right? It is all the understanding of source and spirit on this planet. In your first incarnations, there were those that came from the stars to help you,
Hmm.
right? To help take care of you, to help you begin to evolve, right? And they were put on a pedestal by the humans. And
Mm,
that is where worship came, right? They would worship these beings because these beings kept them safe, fed them, housed them, healed
sure.
their wounds, all of that. And so that is where worship began.
Interesting.
And when these beings took a step back,
Mhm.
then humanity was going, okay, well, who's going to take care of us now and feed us and heal our wounds?
Mhm.
And here came different beings, Buddha, Jesus, to name just a couple, came and began to have experiences here upon the planet. And because of their attunement to source and they knew who and what they were, then many began to worship them. Even though both Buddha and Jesus said, you know, I'm not here to be worshipped, and I'm here to show you what's possible for you, show you who and what you are.
Mhm.
And so as time went on, then there were those humans that said, okay, we're going to make a club of all who worship Buddha, or all who worship Jesus, or all who worship, you know, Zarathustra, and all of these different beings that came to the planet. And so religion kind of started like a grouping of like-minded people. And they
Mhm.
began
Mhm.
to study what Jesus said and study what Buddha said. And then it became crystallized, to for lack of a better understanding.
Mhm.
And so it just grew. And religion is a man-made term as well, right?
Yes.
So that's a little bit of a overview or an understanding of how it started, right?
Mhm.
The
Okay.
truth of the matter is that
Interesting.
each religion is kind of just a club full of people who believe the same way, right?
Yes, a club.
And
Mhm.
and unfortunately, sometimes those beliefs have caused conflict upon the planet, right?
Mhm. Yes.
Our way is the right way, and you're not believing the same way we are, so you're wrong, you're bad. We
Hmm.
have to change you, those types of things.
Hmm. And it's even created wars.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
more than you know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm. Thank you.
yeah, indeed.
Um, another question from a listener. He wanted to know why, in regards to the recorded teachings of Christ, why are there so many passages in Scripture about being saved if there is no hell to be saved from? Yeah, that came through.
You have to understand that the Bible was written by men, not by Jesus.
Hmm.
And as you know, even channels don't always get it right.
Hmm.
Okay? And so the Bible, the scriptures were written by men, and it leans heavily on their personal beliefs. Okay? And then through the ages, what was written has gone through translation after translation after translation. There were even rulers who took out large parts of the Bible, put in things that they felt were important. So this is not the original teachings of Christ.
Right,
The Bible, and pardon us for those of you who love the Bible, but it
right.
contains very little of Christ's teachings,
Hmm.
right? And so uh, basically it was man. It was humanity
Yes,
that that decided that if we want somebody to stay in our club, we have to give them a reason to stay.
right.
So if you're in our club and you believe how we believe, then you're going to go to glory.
Hmm. Right, right.
If you're not in our club, you're going to go to hell, right?
Hmm.
Whereas the truth
Hmm.
is that everyone who passes the body goes immediately back home to the heart of source,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. We don't
So,
need saving, in other words.
right, what's to save,
Right.
right? The soul is here to have the experiences. The soul's perfect.
Hmm.
The soul is divine.
Mm.
Now, is the human having human experience? Yeah, that doesn't make the soul bad or broken or even evil.
Okay. I know we've
Even
talked about
evil,
that.
I
Yes.
know we've talked, and there's people out there that like kind of tense up when we say that, but the
Hmm.
soul is the soul. The soul is a spark of source.
Hmm.
Right? So, indeed,
Thank you.
what do you need to be saved from?
Right.
Mhm. And everyone will use their own discernment. It's not our job to, uh, cast aspersion on anyone's belief systems,
Hmm.
but we are offering a different point of view.
Yes. Thank
Yeah,
you.
indeed.
Metatron, uh, we have our inauguration coming very soon.
Mhm.
And I was wondering if you had input about what you foresee for us, in this next quarter.
Yeah, a lot of upheaval,
Hmm.
lot of upheaval. We have spoken before, Mother Maya has spoken before, that your country is poised for civil war.
Hmm.
And it would not have mattered who won the presidency. Your country was poised for civil war,
Okay.
no matter
Yeah.
who won.
Hmm.
And so it is going to be a very interesting thing, because there will be many that voted for your current incumbent that are going to be very surprised at many of his actions, right? And so it's going to create a lot of people kind of stepping back and reassessing, and other people stepping forward and being angry, right?
Okay.
The
Mm.
the paradox is that, that place of this is the key to change. This is the key to old paradigms and structures falling so that new can be built.
Mhm.
And and there needs to be the catalyst within that. And so your incumbent president is the catalyst, right?
Okay.
So
Interesting. Thank
it's
you.
it will, be neutral, do your best to be a good human, try not to be, an individual who, is in the club and my way is right and your way isn't. Try to be that human being that is embracing it all, holding space for the higher good,
Mhm.
so that the collective can actually evolve from this. Right?
Thank you.
Indeed.
Mm.
Mm.
So, what final advice does Metatron have for the collective today, besides that?
Yeah. Manage your energy.
Mhm.
One of the things that the fires upon your planet, and not just the current fire in Southern California, but the fires in Brazil, the fires in Australia, the fires in Northern California, all of these fire represents anger, rage, right? And so this is definitely an element that's out of balance on your planet. How do you balance that? Well, it's up to the individual to manage their energy, right? If you're an angry person, begin to do something to release your anger so that you're
Mm.
not part of the the fire,
Yes.
right? Begin to embrace your water and other aspects and elements of yourself. You can manage your energy. You can be neutral. Doesn't mean that you're ineffective. It just means that you are able to respond as opposed to reacting. Fire reacts to
Mhm.
the fuel, right? The wood, the houses, anything that it can consume is its fuel.
Mhm.
So be kind, be compassionate, help each other. This is the time. For all of you who feel that you don't know what your path is, this is your time to really step forward and help. Even if you only offer one small thing in the world, please offer it. It
Mhm.
makes a difference. Huh? It is, you don't have to have a big picture. You don't have to have a big business to make a difference. You can be the individual that prays. You can be the individual that helps others by, you know, finding a way to fill a need.
Mhm. Beautiful.
Be that,
Mhm.
and humanity will thrive. Right?
Thank you. Thank you
Indeed,
so much.
indeed.
Well, until next time, Metatron.
All right, you are complete. It has been
Mhm.
our honor to be here with you today.
Mine
We
as
know
well.
it's been a little somber at times, but
Mm,
God I am, God I am, God I am. God you
mhm.
are, God you are, God you are. All of you,
Thank you.
right? All right.
Thank you.
Until next time, beloved one.
Bye, Metatron.
Namaste.
Mhm. Mm. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Mm.
Hoo, hoo, hoo. All right. How did you do?
Very good. Yeah, very good. You know, the energy is it's 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 there. It's been, it's just different. It's really, really different. But a lot of really good advice,
Yeah,
sound good advice to put out there.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I always appreciate that. It was
yeah,
really good
yeah,
to connect with him again.
yeah. And he's been saying to me, we're the only ones that can change anything, right? We're the
Mhm.
only ones that can change the energy. We can change the course of life upon this planet.
Right? That is true.
Us. We have the sovereignty to do that. So
Mhm. Thank you, Wendy.
you're welcome. You're
So
welcome.
appreciate, you know, the time that you spend here with us to,
I
bring
love it.
Metatron forward. It's really, I love it
I
too.
love it. I love
Yeah.
it. It really I get excited every time. It's like,
Yes.
tomorrow we get to get together. But
Yes.
because number one, I get to see you and spend time with you, but also
Mm.
because, you know, I I think this makes a difference. I get a lot of feedback from people.
Me too. Me too. And
Yeah.
we really appreciate your comments. I got to say also, thank you. I forgot to say thank you to the listeners and some of my clients that have reached out with so much love and support about what's going on here in Los Angeles. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Wendy, what do you have going on coming up? I know you have some retreats coming up this later this year.
Yes. Well, tomorrow, no, excuse me, Wednesday begins the year-long program Transcending the Veil. There's one
Wow.
more spot in that. If
Ooh,
anyone is feeling called, there's one spot left. Um, then I'm doing the pathway with Lynn, and
okay.
we also have a couple spots left if anybody feels drawn to Lynn and I.
Okay.
Then I am co-facilitating a retreat to Virginia Beach a little bit
Good.
later this year in May, and it's going to be a combination of Akashic Record and the Akashic Oracle channeling. We're going to be down there. We'll go see the Edgar Casey Center, and it's a really going to be an intensive for Akashic Records and channeling.
Mm,
And then in
yeah.
September, we are taking people to Mount Shasta. So all of
Beautiful.
the information is on my website, Metatron's Mystical Muse.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, so
Wonderful. Thank you.
and there'll be other fun stuff coming up that I just haven't been told yet.
Yes,
Right? I
yes,
wait.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
Thank you again, Wendy.
Welcome. Mwah.
Okay, until next
Bye.
time. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.